Hi, okay, welcome to the next High Poly lecture. Before we get started, I just want to look at these side panels on these steps. You can see I've changed this one, and I realised why this looked pretty odd before. I mean, if you take a look at the one I've corrected, you can see it steps down with the steps, and it looks 100 times better. And we still have our edges down here, so we can still define the planks, which is exactly what I wanted in the first place, really. So if you look at this side, it doesn't step down, and I couldn't quite understand why it looked odd, and it went up and down. It doesn't look great. So this looks much better, and you can see I've kept both in just to show you, but if you want to keep that one, this side, that's fine. But I'm going to use this, and I'm going to copy it over to here now. Put it on quickly on fast forward because you've seen me do this. And by the way, I changed this. I didn't use any other tools that you don't already know and you haven't already learned, so it should be very easy for you to change this. As a little challenge, that's what you should do. Have a go at this and change it so it looks like that. Very easy, very quick. So I'm going to change this now. So I'll put it on fast forward, but it's stuff that you already know. So here we go. And that's it. So just make sure if you change it that your steps still sit on the planks here, the edges of them, because you don't want gaps on the side here showing through. It's got to be well sealed so the light can't get in or out of there in any way. Okay, so that's it for now. That's the change, all the changes I did, and let's move on and do the window. Okay, and welcome to the next part of our high poly modeling section. In this lecture, we're going to build a window. Now, if you look at the concept art for the window, you can see it's a sort of a gridded, small paned window. So we're going to build that, and I'm not too fussed about how many. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. That doesn't really matter too much. We'll just make it look good in the same style as what's been drawn there. Okay, so let's do that. So this is our space for our window, and I do believe it's fairly square. I remember doing a square for it. I'm not too fussed about its size, as long as we keep it square, the actual window. We can scale it up or down to fit once we've finished it. Okay, so we start off with a box, as you do, and just do a rough size. That looks quite big, but that's fine, doesn't matter. We can make it, the important thing at this stage is to make it square. So if we do, I don't know, 200 by, okay, let's make it 250 by 250. There we go. We now know that that's exactly square, and it looks a bit too fat, so we need to bring that right down. No, not up, down, down, down. There we go. Because that's going to be the thickness of our wood for our frame, basically. It's still quite thick, I think. And remember, our glass has got to go inside there also. Okay, so that'll do for now. That's fine. So what I want to do is how many panes across? Give it a decent amount of panes. So if we look at our hole, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say 4 by 4. We need to put edges on so we can see what we're doing here. There we go. So we, oops, one too many. 5 lengths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. They look quite big. That's okay. I think we need them to be quite big. Height 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. That's cool. And that is all we need. So we now can convert that to a editable poly, like so. Okay, so now we're going to use face. So select all the faces, and then go to your side view of it and deselect the sides. I don't want the sides selected, so you should have just the front and back selected like so. Everything else should be switched off. None of the edges. So now we're going to go to insert, go to insert settings. First we'll make that 0, go inside here, make that by polygon, and then increase this very subtly till you get that kind of look there. I think that's plenty for window frame. Then click tick. There we have it. Okay, now we're going to bridge the front and back. So what this is going to do is going to bridge it from one side to the other and create our inner edges. So if you just click on, leave everything selected as is and click on bridge, you can see what it's going to do there. Look. Click on that, it should just create all your little window frames, which is pretty cool. So now we're going to create our little frames inside the frame itself for our panes of glass to sit up against. And to do that we need to select all the edges around here like this. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put it on fast forward because it's a bit laborious to select them all. Okay, so we only need to do half. Once we've done these two at the top, these two rows, I'll delete these and we'll just copy them and flip them so that we don't have to keep doing all this detail work too many times. Okay, so with all your inner edges selected, like so, and we'll just check that there's no other edges selected by mistake, like that, for example. If there is, just switch it off by using Alt and just make sure there's no others on top, sides or bottom, like that. Okay, now we're going to connect. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect this edge with this edge. So we're going to use the connect. So click on that and click on settings. You can see it's done 1 because only 1 is selected here, but if you do 2 you'll get a double edge. Now we could have used Swift Loop, but this is just a new, okay, so you can see it's not working at the top, so cancel that. That's because one of my edges wasn't selected, so it's important, like I said, to make sure they're all selected, otherwise it won't work correctly. Okay, so bring it back on, connect settings, just check that they're all working this time. Yep, look good. Yeah, all around. Yep, very good. Okay, so make sure you've got that on 2, like that. So you got a double edge going all the way around the window frame, and then just tick like that, which is cool. Now you need to go around and select all the faces that you've just created inside the window panes, these here, like so. Okay, there we go. Just make sure nothing else is selected like that. Obviously there is there, so undo that. Make sure you're using Alt just deselect things. Anything that shouldn't be selected, make sure you deselect. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now we're going to extrude. Extrude settings. Boo. Okay, first of all, take that down to 0. Oops. Just type in 0 there. Make sure this is on local normal. And then just sneak it up. Let's just bring it back down once. There we go, that's good. Okay, this is going to be the piece of wood that our window panes are going to sit up against. So in fact, that's good. I'm going to leave it like that. So let's tick that, and we're going to move it in slightly into the interior. Okay, we need to select all of the faces on each of the panes to be able to do that. Okay, so just select them all because I need to move them in slightly. Again, make sure there's nothing else selected like that. Don't need any of that selected. Or you just deselect anything that shouldn't be selected, because you don't want to be moving polygons that don't need to be moved, because you get yourself in a bit of a mess otherwise. Okay, so we've got all our polygons selected, and now we can just move them inside closer to the interior. So the reason I'm doing this is because our glass has got to sit up against this, and then we're going to have some sort of like putty or some sort of fixture to hold the glass into place so it looks a bit more realistic. So let's just move this interior to give us inside to give us a bit of space. Yep, that looks good. I like that. Looks just about enough. Could make it a little bit thinner actually. You could sort of just narrower, I should say. Just take it down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so that's looking pretty cool. Okay, so something else we need to do, not too worried about the interior, but on the outside I'm going to bevel all these edges, and again just go around and select all the edges, double click on one, holding control, and it should go all the way around. Like that. Okay, now click on chamfer, just like we did before. Okay, 100's too much, we want 0.5. Tick that because that's good. There we go. So we now have some nice chamfer. Let's just take the edges off to have a look at that so far. And remember, when we do our textures for these, it will look like flaky paint, rotten wood, and mossy green mess. So even though it looks really crisp and clean now, it won't do once it's all textured up. Just change the colour of it from blue to, that's better. I always use a neutral colour because then it kind of takes away from any sort of colouring and texturing, you know, it keeps it simple, and your mind doesn't start to stray into the sort of colour into the colour of the object rather than and out of modelling and what you're supposed to be focused on. So it's good to just keep a neutral colour. That way you just don't think about it. Okay, so we have that. Let's do just a pane of glass very simply. And with that we can use a box. For that we can use a very simple box and make it fit inside there. Very thin. I think glass is about 1/4 inch thick. Which is what, 1/2 centimetre? So 1/2 centimetre, 0.5. Let's have a look online, see what that is. Okay, so glass is about 1/4 inch thick, 1/4 inch thick, which is 0.635 centimeters. So we can do 0.6. 0.6, and that's about right. Okay, thank you, Google. So that's our glass. Let's just get one in position. We can get the right size then. Okay, so if we turn on snap, we just want to get this corner matched up with that, so we know it's in the right position that way, and we want this inside edge. It's getting a bit dark in here. So let's turn on our edges so we can see. Okay, so we want this to be up against there like that. That gives us plenty of space on the outside for any sort of putty or whatever we want. We don't need 4, we just need 1 and 1. And let's just bring down the size. I'll tell you what, the easier way to do it is just convert to editable poly, get your verts like this, and turn off snap for a minute, just move them so you can see, turn on snap and just get them into position like that. There we go. Same with that. Now I'm only going to do 1 pane of glass because once we put all the texture on, because texturing glass is going to be different from texturing the wood and the pane, because the wood frame, because it's going to use a shader in Unity rather than actual texture per se. But we are going to make it grubby and grimy and weathered and all the rest of it. So for now, let's just make it a very subtle blue, if you like, just so we can see, and then we're going to make it slightly transparent, just so we can see, get the effect of it. Put it on 4. There we go. So that's going to be our window pane, and when we do the texture, we can make it all really grubby around the outside. Maybe have some weathered dribbles coming down it, and yeah, so it'll look pretty good, I think. Okay, so now we just need an edge on this now.